Hey everyone, welcome to Two Car Pros. My name is Ryan, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to replace a body control module, or BCM, in an automobile. Now, all makes and models are going to look different and use different BCMs and be mounted different in different places. So to try to make one BCM video for everything is basically impossible, so I just covered the basics for you, and it applies to almost everything. I'll explain how this video came to be as well. I was working on a 2008 Chevrolet Impala when the locks don't work. The doors will unlock, but the locks will not work, and you can hear relays clicking. I've checked fuses, all the fuses check fine. I've replaced all the relays just in case the relays test fine but fail internally. I've had that happen a couple times, but the locks still don't work. I also verified power and ground. There was no shorts, there was no gaps in power, everything was seeming fine. I traced the wires all the way back to the BCM, and that's when it dawned on me, maybe the BCM's gone out. For those of you unfamiliar, older cars never had BCMs. It's just a switch and a relay, nice and easy, almost never fails, great. So they went ahead and changed it because that's what they do. So the lock signal will often run through what's called a body control module, or I'll refer to it from now on as a BCM. So basically your lock signal gets sent to the computer verifies whether or not it's okay to send the lock or unlock signal to the relay, closing the lock solenoids. Also, this is how you have those cars where you drive them for a teeny tiny bit and they automatically lock the doors. This is how that is actually happening. It's not just a switch and a relay, it has a computer in the way, and sometimes that computer fails internally, a capacitor goes bad or something like that, and you need a new one. And it isn't as easy as just running out to your local parts store and getting a BCM. You have to have them custom ordered for your VIN number, for your ECM, for your car, or it won't work. And there's kind of a process on getting it back reacclimated to the ECM and clearing all these codes and making sure the BCM is happy being in the car, or else the car probably won't start and it'll have what's called a security lockout on it. It's because the car's thinking you're trying to steal it when you're just trying to replace the BCM. So you have to do a certain kind of dance with it and use a fancy scanner. And don't worry, I'll show you how to do the whole thing. So let's jump into it. So here is our old battery control module that I already removed out of our '08 Impala. It'll look something like this on your car as well, but they do come in all kinds of different shape sizes and connectors, which is why I suggest using something like this. This is another BCM. You'll notice they're exactly the same, identical, same part numbers and everything. However, it does need to be reprogrammed, and you can buy it reprogrammed with your VIN number and part number by this company, Flashmasters. No, I'm not sponsored by them. I paid for this with my own money. I've just used them before in the past and it's worked out really well. And BCMs have to be programmed to your VIN number. If you just go in a junkyard and grab one of these and try to put it in your car, it's probably not going to work, or the ECM is going to throw an absolute fit. And then it also has some install instructions. Now, these might not be universal from every car to every car. It looks pretty universal. I could be wrong on that, so I would double check with Flashmasters on your particular car what the process is, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm also going to install this off of camera. I'll show you when I'm done because, again, BCMs come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes and locations, and if you need any help finding where your BCM is and how to replace it, you can visit our website, twocarpros.com, and we will be along shortly with some diagrams to show you exactly where your BCM is and how to remove it. So I'm going to put this back in, install it, go through the instructions, and hopefully we will regain our locking function on our '08 Impala. So right here on this particular car is where the BCM is. Does not look familiar. It's a little tricky to get to, but not too bad. Do have to take out some panels. And this is going to be different car to car, which is why I didn't go over exact installation, because it might be under your hood. It might be on the passenger side. I don't know where yours is. You're gonna have to figure that out and replace it just like I did, but that's where this one is. They're gonna be most likely inside and somewhere probably tricky to get to, but you know, it's not too bad. This one's not even held in with bolts, just these little clips, and the plugs only go in one way. You can't mix them up, so that makes it nice. But yeah, and also I had the battery unplugged, the negative side unplugged during the entire removal and install duration, so I'm going to hook the battery back up now. Okay, so now we're in the car. We're going to follow the instructions. It says attempt to start the vehicle by cranking the starter for a few seconds and then let the key come back and rest in the on position. Do not turn the key off. If the starter does not turn, you will still crank the key to the crank position for a second or two. The vehicle will not start. or it may just start for a few seconds then die. At this point, the security indicator should be on. The security indicator will stay lit for 10 minutes and then go out. Once the indicator has gone off, turn off the key and wait at least 5 seconds. Do not take the key out of the ignition, and then you will repeat the process again. Attempt to start the vehicle, let the key come back on to the rest position, and the security indicator should be lit. Once the indicator has gone out, turn the key off for at least 5 seconds. Repeat the process for a third and final time. Attempt to start the vehicle, let the key come back and rest on position. The security indicator should be lit. Once the indicator has gone off, let the key turn off for at least 5 seconds and the vehicle should start. Okay, so we're gonna try to crank it for about 2 seconds. So we're gonna turn ours. Oh, ours turned on. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to let it rest. So you'll notice that it's back in the second position. I haven't removed the key. Let it sit here for 10 minutes, and then our security light should go out. Ours isn't even on, so that's a good sign for us. So we're going to let this sit for 10 minutes. Now that we've sat for 10 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and turn the key off and remove it. Wait at least 5 seconds, and then repeat the process. All right, another 10 minutes. Wait 5 seconds. Let this wait for 10 more minutes. 10 minutes, take the key out, wait 5 seconds, and now the vehicle should start. Ours was starting the entire time, so it's a little bit different car to car. I'm not surprised by that. And when the BCM is replaced, an airbag light will remain solid, and what you're going to do is set that up using a fancy scanner, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. Alrighty, once our fancy pants scanner is all plugged in and turned on, we can go ahead and hit diagnostics, and then I'm gonna make it detect my VIN for me. Otherwise, you kind of have to select the year, make, model. That is our VIN. And then you have to pick which one you have for HVAC. So do you have the model that has dual climate control, so you can control side to side, or is it single? This happens to be single. There might be a couple other questions that your car in particular has. Then you can verify the information is correct, which it is, because all this needs to be correct so the tablet knows how to talk to your ECM, because ECMs all speak a little bit different languages. So basically RPO UH8 refers to the instrument cluster on this particular model. It's basically asking if it has a tachometer or a cool instrument cluster, which this one happens to have. So yes, it has the fancier setup. We can auto scan this, and what this is going to do is scan every single module in the car. Engine control module, transmission control, literally everything, and it's going to go through until we get to here, supplemental inflatable restraint. That's part of your airbag codes. Has some body control module faults as well. So now that's completed looking at our scans, I'm going to go to our body control module and our trouble codes. And since we just put in a new BCM, I know it's okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and erase those. Get rid of those right there. So you can see right here, body control module has passed, no fault. So that has been completed. Now the body control module is happy and new and installed. We shouldn't have any more problems. Okay, here's the moment of truth. I've been working on this car for a while before I suspected the BCM. I've replaced every fuse and every relay you can imagine before I suspected the BCM. So let's try it out. Yay. I have no idea how long it took to get right. Yep. Working perfectly. All 4 doors are locking and unlocking. Yay. So that is how to replace the BCM in a little bit more modern car. This was pretty easy when you break everything down. It's just literally taking a computer out and putting a new one in and plugging another computer into your computer to clear the codes. That is the basic rundown of it, but you have to know exactly what to do and how to do it, and I show you exactly how to do that. If you have any questions, you can go to our website, twocarpros.com, ask a question for absolutely free, and I will be along shortly to answer it. Or you can leave a comment. I'll try to get to those as well. And I have to say, this is one of the more gratifying videos. I had spent days trying to figure out this lock actuator thing. I thought maybe all 4 lock solenoids were broken. I thought it was a fuse, a relay, ground, a short, something wasn't working, because it was super strange that unlocking the doors worked, but locking the doors did not work. That's really weird. I've never seen that before, so it's interesting that it was a computer problem. Probably should have guessed that a little bit earlier, but hey, I'm only human, and we did get to the bottom of it, and it fixed it. Now I can give the car back to the customer, and they'll be happy to, you know, have doors that lock again. So that was pretty cool. And a body control module fix is really big these days in cars. Oftentimes people will replace a bulb in a car and the light bulb still doesn't work because the BCM isn't sending power to it anymore because it detects a short in that bulb. So you have to reprogram, or not reprogram, but clear a code in your BCM to say, hey, light that light again. Yes, they're that complicated. Not on this one. This car's a little bit older than that, but if you have like something that's later than 2015, you might run into that. So BCMs are super finicky and they're an integral part in a modern automobile. Knowing how to replace them is going to be even more important as time goes on. Thank you so very much for watching. If you found this video interesting or helpful at all, please consider becoming a member down below by clicking that join button. It is a direct way to help the channel out. Barring that, a like, comment, and subscription go a long way in helping my channel out, and I so appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.